The first duty prescribed by God for his servants is the recognition of him who is the dayspring of his revelation and the fountain of his laws, who representeth the Godhead in both the kingdom of his cause and the world of creation. Whoso achieveth this duty hath attained unto all good, and whoso is deprived thereof hath gone astray, though he be the author of every righteous deed. It behoveth every one who reacheth this most sublime station, this summit of transcendent glory, to observe every ordinance of him who is the desire of the world. These twin duties are inseparable. Neither is acceptable without the other. Thus hath it been decreed by him who is the source of divine inspiration. They whom God hath endued with insight will readily recognize that the precepts laid down by God constitute the highest means for the maintenance of order in the world and the security of its peoples. He that turneth away from them is accounted among the abject and the foolish. We, verily, have commanded you to refuse the dictates of your evil passions and corrupt desires, and not to transgress the bounds which the pen of the Most High hath fixed. For these are the breath of life unto all created things. The seas of divine wisdom and divine utterance have risen under the breath of the breeze of the All-Merciful. Hasten to drink your fill, O men of understanding. They that have violated the covenant of God by breaking his commandments, and have turned back on their heels, these have erred grievously in the sight of God, the All-Possessing, the Most High. O ye peoples of the world, know assuredly that my commandments are the lamps of my loving providence among my servants, and the keys of my mercy for my creatures. Thus hath it been sent down from the heaven of the will of your Lord, the Lord of revelation. Were any man to taste the sweetness of the words which the lips of the All-Merciful have willed to utter, he would, though the treasures of the earth be in his possession, renounce them one and all, that he might vindicate the truth of even one of his commandments, shining above the dayspring of his bountiful care and loving kindness. Say, from my laws the sweet-smelling savour of my garment can be smelled, and by their aid the standards of victory will be planted upon the highest peaks. The tongue of my power hath, from the heaven of my omnipotent glory, addressed to my creation these words: Observe my commandments, for the love of my beauty. Happy is the lover that hath inhaled the divine fragrance of his best beloved from these words, laden with the perfume of a grace which no tongue can describe. By my life, he who hath drunk the choice wine of fairness from the hands of my bountiful favour will circle around my commandments that shine above the dayspring of my creation. Think not that we have revealed unto you a mere code of laws. Nay, rather, we have unsealed the choice wine with the fingers of might and power. To this beareth witness that which the pen of revelation hath revealed. Meditate upon this, O men of insight. We have enjoined obligatory prayer upon you, with 9 rakas, to be offered at noon and in the morning and the evening unto God, the revealer of verses. We have relieved you of a greater number as a command in the Book of God. He verily is the ordainer, the omnipotent, the unrestrained. When ye desire to perform this prayer, turn ye toward the court of my most holy presence, this hallowed spot that God hath made the centre round which circle the concourse of high, and which he hath decreed to be the point of adoration for the denizens of the cities of eternity, and the source of command unto all that are in heaven and on earth. And when the sun of truth and utterance shall set, turn your faces towards the spot that we have ordained for you. He verily is almighty and omniscient. Everything that is hath come to be through his irresistible decree. Whenever my laws appear like unto the sun in the heaven of mine utterance, they must be faithfully obeyed by all, though my decree be such as to cause the heaven of every religion to be cleft asunder. He doeth what he pleaseth. He chooseth, and none may question his choice. Whatsoever he, the well-beloved, ordaineth, the same is verily beloved. To this he who is the Lord of all creation beareth me witness. Whoso hath inhaled the sweet fragrance of the All-Merciful, and recognized the source of this utterance, will welcome with his own eyes the shafts of the enemy, that he may establish the truth of the laws of God amongst men. Well it is with him that hath turned thereunto, and apprehended the meaning of his decisive decree. We have set forth the details of obligatory prayer in another tablet. Blessed is he who observeth that whereunto he hath been bidden by him who ruleth over all mankind. In the prayer for the dead, 6 specific passages have been sent down by God, the revealer of verses. Let one who is able to read recite that which hath been revealed to precede these passages. And as for him who is unable, God hath relieved him of this requirement. He of a truth is the mighty, the pardoner. Hair doth not invalidate your prayer, nor aught from which the spirit has departed, such as bones and the like. Ye are free to wear the fur of the sable as ye would that of the beaver, the squirrel, and other animals. The prohibition of its youth has stemmed, not from the Quran, but from the misconceptions of the divines. He verily is the all-glorious, the all-knowing. We have commanded you to pray and fast from the beginning of maturity. This is ordained by God, your Lord, and the Lord of your forefathers. He hath exempted from this those who are weak from illness or age, as a bounty from his presence, and he is the forgiving, the generous. God hath granted you leave to prostrate yourselves on any surface that is clean, for we have removed in this regard the limitation that hath been laid down in the book. God indeed hath knowledge of that whereof ye know naught. Let him that findeth no water for ablution repeat 5 times the words, In the name of God, the most pure, and then proceed to his devotions. Such is the command of the Lord of all worlds. In regions where the days and nights grow long, let times of prayer be gauged by clocks and other instruments that mark the passage of the hours. He verily is the expounder, the wise. We have absolved you from the requirements of performing the prayer of the signs. On the appearance of fearful natural events, call ye to mind the might and majesty of your Lord, he who heareth and seeth all, and say, Dominion is God's, the Lord of the seen and the unseen, the Lord of creation. We have absolved you from the requirements of performing the prayer of the signs. On the appearance of fearful natural events, call ye to mind the might and majesty of your Lord, he who heareth and seeth all, and say, Dominion is God's, the Lord of the seen and the unseen, the Lord of creation. It hath been ordained that obligatory prayer is to be performed by each of you individually. Save in the prayer for the dead, the practice of congregational prayer hath been annulled. He of a truth is the ordainer, the all-wise. God hath exempted women who are in their courses from obligatory prayer and fasting. Let them instead, after performance of their ablutions, give praise unto God, repeating 95 times between the noon of one day and the next, Glorified be God, the Lord of splendour and beauty. Thus hath it been decreed in the book, if ye be of them that comprehend. When travelling, if ye should stop and rest in some safe spot, perform ye, men and women alike, a single prostration in place of each obligatory prayer, and while prostrating say, Glorified be God, the Lord of might and majesty, of grace and bounty. Whoso is unable to do this, let him say only, Glorified be God. This shall assuredly suffice him. He is of a truth the all-sufficing, the ever-abiding, the forgiving, compassionate God. Upon completing your prostrations, seat yourselves cross-legged, men and women alike, and 18 times repeat, Glorified be God, the Lord of the kingdoms of earth and heaven. Thus doth the Lord make plain the way of truth and guidance, ways that lead to one way, which is this straight path. Render thanks unto God for this most gracious favour. Offer praise unto him for this bounty that hath encompassed the heavens and the earth. Extol him for this mercy that hath pervaded all creation. Say, God hath made my hidden love the key to the treasure. Would that ye might perceive it. But for the key, the treasure would to all eternity have remained concealed. Would that ye might believe it. Say, this is the source of revelation, the dawning place of splendour, whose brightness hath illumined the horizons of the world. Would that ye might understand. This is verily that fixed decree through which every irrevocable decree hath been established. O pen of the Most High, say, O people of the world, we have enjoined upon you fasting during a brief period, and at its close have designated for you Nauruz as a feast. Thus hath the day-star of utterance shone forth above the horizon of the book, as decreed by him who is the Lord of the beginning and the end. Let the days in excess of the months be placed before the month of fasting. We have ordained that these, amid all nights and days, shall be the manifestation of the letter Ha, and thus they have not been bounded by the limits of the year and its months. It behoveth the people of Baha, throughout these days, to provide good cheer for themselves, their kindred, and, beyond them, the poor and needy, and with joy and exultation to hail and glorify their Lord, to sing his praise and magnify his name. And when they end, these days of giving that precede the season of restraint, let them enter upon the fast. Thus hath it been ordained by him who is the Lord of all mankind. The traveller, the ailing, those who are with child or giving suck, are not bound by the fast. They have been exempted by God as a token of his grace. He verily is the Almighty, the most generous. These are the ordinances of God that have been set down in the books and tablets by his most exalted pen. Hold ye fast unto his statutes and commandments, and be not of those who, following their idle fancies and vain imaginings, have clung to the standards fixed by their own selves, and cast behind their backs the standards laid down by God. Abstain from food and drink, from sunrise to sundown, and beware lest desire deprive you of this grace that is appointed in the book. It hath been ordained that every believer in God, the Lord of judgment, shall each day, having washed his hands and then his face, seat himself, and turning unto God, repeat Allapa 95 times. Such was the decree of the Maker of the heavens when with majesty and power he established himself upon the thrones of his names. Perform ye likewise ablutions for the obligatory prayer. This is the command of God, the incomparable, the unrestrained. Ye have been forbidden to commit murder or adultery, or to engage in backbiting or calumny. Shun ye then what hath been prohibited in the holy books and tablets. We have divided inheritance into 7 categories. To the children we have allotted 9 parts, comprising 540 shares. To the wife, 8 parts, comprising 480 shares. To the father, 7 parts, comprising 420 shares. To the mother, 6 parts, comprising 360 shares. To the sisters, 4 parts, or 240 shares. And to the teachers, 3 parts, or 180 shares. Such was the ordinance of my forerunner, he who extolleth my name in the night season and at the break of day. When we heard the clamour of the children as yet unborn, we doubled their share and decreased those of the rest. He of a truth hath power to ordain whatsoever he desireth, and he doeth as he pleaseth by virtue of his sovereign might. Should the deceased leave no offspring, their share shall revert to the house of justice, to be expended by the trustees of the All-Merciful on the orphaned and widowed, and on whatsoever will bring benefit to the generality of the people, that all may give thanks unto their Lord, the All-Gracious, the All-Pardoner. Should the deceased leave offspring, but none of the other categories of heirs that have been specified in the book, they shall receive 2/3 of the inheritance, and the remaining third shall revert to the house of justice. Such is the command which hath been given, in majesty and glory, by him who is the all-possessing, the Most High. If the deceased leave none of the specified heirs, but have among his relatives nephews and nieces, whether on his brother's or his sister's side, 2/3 of the inheritance shall pass to them, or lacking these, to his uncles and aunts on both his father's and his mother's side, and after them to their sons and daughters. The remaining third of the inheritance shall, in any case, revert to the seat of justice. Thus hath it been laid down in the book by him who ruleth over all men. Should the deceased be survived by none of those whose names have been recorded by the pen of the Most High, his estate shall in its entirety revert to the aforementioned seat, that it may be expended on that which is prescribed by God. He verily is the ordainer, the omnipotent. We have assigned the residence and personal clothing of the deceased to the male, not female offspring, nor to the other heirs. He verily is the Munificent, the All-Bountiful. Should the son of the deceased have passed away in the days of his father and have left children, they will inherit their father's share, as prescribed in the Book of God. Divide ye their share amongst them with perfect justice. Thus have the billows of the ocean of utterance surged, casting forth the pearls of the laws decreed by the Lord of all mankind. If the deceased should leave children who are under age, their share of the inheritance must be entrusted to a reliable individual or to a company, that it may be invested on their behalf in trade and business until they come of age. The trustee should be assigned a due share of the profit that hath accrued from it being thus employed. Division of the estate should take place only after the hukuklah hath been paid, and any debts have been settled, the expenses of the funeral and burial defrayed, and such provision made that the deceased may be carried to his resting place with dignity and honour. Thus hath it been ordained by him who is the Lord of the beginning and end. Say, this is that hidden knowledge which shall never change, since its beginning is with 9, the symbol that betokeneth the concealed and manifest, the inviolable and unapproachably exalted name. As for what we have appropriated to the children, this is a bounty conferred on them by God, that they may render thanks unto their Lord, the compassionate, the merciful. These verily are the laws of God. Transgress them not at the promptings of your base and selfish desires. Observe ye the injunctions laid upon you by him who is the dawning place of utterance. The sincere among his servants will regard the precept set forth by God as the water of life to the followers of every faith, and the lamp of wisdom and loving providence to all the denizens of earth and heaven. The Lord hath ordained that in every city a house of justice be established, wherein shall gather counsellors to the number of Baha. And should it exceed this number, it doth not matter. They should consider themselves as entering the court of the presence of God, the exalted, the Most High, and as beholding him who is the unseen. It behoveth them to be the trusted ones of the merciful among men, and to regard themselves as the guardians appointed of God for all that dwell on earth. It is incumbent upon them to take counsel together, and to have regard for the interests of the servants of God, for his sake, even as they regard their own interests, and to choose that which is meet and seemly. Thus hath the Lord your God commanded you. Beware lest ye put away that which is clearly revealed in his tablet. Fear God, O ye that perceive. O people of the world, build ye houses of worship throughout the lands in the name of him who is the Lord of all religions. Make them as perfect as is possible in the world of being, and adorn them with that which befitteth them, not with images and effigies. Then with radiance and joy celebrate therein the praise of your Lord, the most compassionate. Verily, by his remembrance the eye is cheered and the heart filled with light. The Lord hath ordained that those of you who are able shall make pilgrimage to the sacred house, and from this he hath exempted women as a mercy on his part. He of a truth is the all-bountiful, the most generous. O people of Baha', it is incumbent upon each one of you to engage in some occupation, such as a craft, a trade, or the like. We have exalted your engagement in such work to the rank of worship of the one true God. Reflect, O people, on the grace and blessings of your Lord, and yield him thanks at eventide and dawn. Waste not your hours in idleness and sloth, but occupy yourselves with what will profit you and others. Thus hath it been decreed in this tablet, from whose horizon hath shone the day-star of wisdom and utterance. The most despised of men in the sight of God are they who sit and beg. Hold ye fast unto the cord of means, and place your trust in God, the provider of all means. The kissing of hands hath been forbidden in the book. This practice is prohibited by God, the Lord of glory and command. To none is it permitted to seek absolution from another soul. Let repentance be between yourselves and God. He verily is the pardoner, the bounteous, the gracious, the one who absolveth the repentant. O ye servants of the merciful one, arise to serve the cause of God in such wise that the cares and sorrows caused by them that have disbelieved in the dayspring of the signs of God may not afflict you. At the time when the promise was fulfilled and the promised one made manifest, differences have appeared amongst the kindreds of the earth, and each people hath followed its own fancy and idle imaginings. Amongst the people is he who seateth himself amid the sandals by the door, whilst coveting in his heart the seat of honour. Say, what manner of man art thou, O vain and heedless one, who wouldst appear as other than thou art? And among the people is he who layeth claim to inner knowledge, and still deeper knowledge concealed within this knowledge. Say, thou speakest false. By God, what thou dost possess is naught but husks, which we have left to thee as bones are left to dogs. By the righteousness of the one true God, were any one to wash the feet of all mankind, and were he to worship God in the forests, valleys, and mountains, upon high hills and lofty peaks, to leave no rock or tree, no clod of earth, but was a witness to his worship, yet should the fragrance of my good pleasure not be inhaled from him, his works would never be acceptable unto God. Thus hath it been decreed by him who is the Lord of all. How many a man hath secluded himself in the climes of India, denied himself the things that God hath decreed as lawful, imposed upon himself austerities and mortifications, and hath not been remembered by God, the revealer of verses. Make not your deeds as snares wherewith to entrap the object of your aspiration, and deprive not yourselves of this ultimate objective, for which have ever yearned all such as have drawn nigh unto God. Say, the very life of all deeds is my good pleasure, and all things depend upon my acceptance. Read ye the tablets, that ye may know what hath been purposed in the books of God, the all-glorious, the ever-bounteous. He who hath attained to my love hath title to a throne of gold, to sit thereon in honour over all the world. He who is deprived thereof, though he sit upon the dust, that dust would seek refuge with God, the Lord of all religions. Whoso layeth claim to a revelation direct from God ere the expiration of a full 1,000 years, such a man is assuredly a lying impostor. We pray God that he may graciously assist him to retract and repudiate such a claim. Should he repent, God will assuredly forgive him. If, however, he persisteth in his error, God will assuredly send down one who will deal mercilessly with him. Terrible indeed is God in punishing. Whosoever interpreteth this verse otherwise than its obvious meaning is deprived of the Spirit of God and of his mercy which encompasseth all created things. Fear God, and follow not your idle fancies. Nay, rather, follow the bidding of your Lord, the Almighty, the All-Wise. Ere long shall clamorous voices be raised in most lands. Shun them, O my people, and follow not the iniquitous and evil-hearted. This is that of which we gave you forewarning when we were dwelling in Iraq, and later while in the land of mystery, and now from this resplendent spot. Be not dismayed, O peoples of the world, when the day-star of my beauty is set, and the heaven of my tabernacle is concealed from your eyes. Arise to further my cause and to exalt my word amongst men. We are with you at all times, and shall strengthen you through the power of truth. We are truly almighty. Whoso hath recognized me will arise and serve me with such determination that the powers of earth and heaven shall be unable to defeat his purpose. The peoples of the world are fast asleep. Were they to wake from their slumber, they would hasten with eagerness unto God, the all-knowing, the all-wise. They would cast away everything they possess, be it all the treasures of the earth, that their Lord may remember them to the extent of addressing to them but one word. Such is the instruction given you by him who holdeth the knowledge of things hidden, in a tablet which the eye of creation hath not seen, and which is revealed to none except his own self, the omnipotent protector of all worlds. So bewildered are they in the drunkenness of their evil desires, that they are powerless to recognize the Lord of all being, whose voice calleth aloud from every direction, There is none other God but me, the mighty, the wise. Say, rejoice not in the things ye possess. Tonight they are yours, tomorrow others will possess them. Thus warneth you he who is the all-knowing, the all-informed. Say, can ye claim that what ye own is lasting or secure? Nay, by myself the all-merciful, ye cannot, if ye be of them that judge fairly. The days of your life flee away as a breath of wind, and all your pomp and glory shall be folded up, as were the pomp and glory of those gone before you. Reflect, O people. What hath become of your bygone days, your lost centuries? Happy are the days that have been consecrated to the remembrance of God, and blessed the hours which have been spent in praise of him who is the all-wise. By my life, neither the pomp of the mighty, nor the wealth of the rich, nor even the ascendancy of the ungodly will endure. All will perish at a word from him. He verily is the all-powerful, the all-compelling, the Almighty. What advantage is there in the earthly things which men possess? That which shall profit them they have utterly neglected. Ere long they will awake from their slumber, and find themselves unable to obtain that which hath escaped them in the days of their Lord, the Almighty, the All-Praised. Did they but know it, they would renounce their all, that their names may be mentioned before his throne. They verily are accounted among the dead. Amongst the people is he whose learning hath made him proud, and who hath been debarred thereby from recognizing my name, the self-subsisting, who when he heareth the tread of sandals following behind him, waxeth greater in his own esteem than Nimrod. Say, O rejected one, where is now his abode? By God, it is the nethermost fire. Say, O concourse of divines, hear ye not the shrill voice of my most exalted pen? See ye not this sun that shineth in refulgent splendour above the all-glorious horizon? For how long will ye worship the idols of your evil passions? Forsake your vain imaginings, and turn yourselves unto God, your everlasting Lord. Endowments dedicated to charity revert to God, the revealer of signs. None hath the right to dispose of them without leave from him who is the dawning place of revelation. After him, this authority shall pass to the Agsan, and after them to the house of justice, should it be established in the world by then, that they may use these endowments for the benefit of the places which have been exalted in this cause, and for whatsoever hath been enjoined upon them by him who is the God of might and power. Otherwise, the endowments shall revert to the people of Baha, who speak not except by his leave, and judge not save in accordance with what God hath decreed in this tablet. Lo, they are the champions of victory betwixt heaven and earth, that they may use them in the manner that hath been laid down in the Book of God, the mighty, the bountiful. Lament not in your hours of trial, neither rejoice therein. Seek ye the middle way, which is the remembrance of me in your afflictions, and reflection over that which may befall you in the future. Thus informeth you he who is the omniscient, he who is aware. Shave not your heads. God hath adorned them with hair, and in this there are signs from the Lord of creation to those who reflect upon the requirements of nature. He verily is the God of strength and wisdom. Notwithstanding, it is not seemly to let the hair pass beyond the limit of the ears. Thus hath it been decreed by him who is the Lord of all worlds. Exile and imprisonment are decreed for the thief, and on the third offence place ye a mark upon his brow, so that, thus identified, he may not be accepted in the cities of God and his countries. Beware lest through compassion ye neglect to carry out the statutes of the religion of God. Do that which hath been bidden you by him who is the compassionate and merciful. We school you with the rod of wisdom and laws, like unto the father who educateth his son, and this for naught but the protection of your own selves and the elevation of your stations. By my life, were ye to discover what we have desired for you in revealing our holy laws, ye would offer up your very souls for this sacred, this mighty and most exalted faith. Whoso wisheth to make use of vessels of silver and gold is at liberty to do so. Take heed lest, when partaking of food, ye plunge your hands into the contents of bowls and platters. Adopt ye such usages as are most in keeping with refinement. He verily desireth to see in you the manners of the inmates of paradise in his mighty and most sublime kingdom. Hold ye fast unto refinement under all conditions, that your eyes may be preserved from beholding what is repugnant both to your own selves and to the dwellers of paradise. Should anyone depart therefrom, his deed shall at that moment be rendered vain. Yet should he have good reason, God will excuse him. He in truth is the gracious, the most bountiful. He who is the dawning place of God's cause hath no partner in the most great infallibility. He it is who, in the kingdom of creation, is the manifestation of, He doeth whatsoever He willeth. God hath reserved this distinction unto His own self, and ordained for none a share in so sublime and transcendent a station. This is the decree of God, concealed ere now within the veil of impenetrable mystery. We have disclosed it in this revelation, and have thereby rent asunder the veils of such as have failed to recognize that which the Book of God set forth, and who were numbered with the heedless. Unto every father hath been enjoined the instruction of his son and daughter in the art of reading and writing, and in all that hath been laid down in the holy tablet. He that putteth away that which is commanded unto him, the trustees are then to take from him that which is required for their instruction, if he be wealthy, and if not, the matter devolveth upon the house of justice. Verily we have made it a shelter for the poor and needy. He that bringeth up his son, or the son of another, it is as though he has brought up a son of mine. Upon him rest my glory, my loving kindness, my mercy that have compassed the world. God hath imposed a fine on every adulterer and adulteress, to be paid to the house of justice, 9 mithqals of gold, to be doubled if they should repeat the offence. Such is the penalty which He who is the Lord of names hath assigned them in this world, and in the world to come He hath ordained for them a humiliating torment. Should any one be afflicted by a sin, it behoveth him to repent thereof and return unto his Lord. He verily granteth forgiveness unto whomsoever He willeth, and none may question that which it pleaseth Him to ordain. He is in truth the ever-forgiving, the Almighty, the All-praised. Beware lest ye be hindered by the veils of glory from partaking of the crystal waters of this living fountain. Seize ye the chalice of salvation at this dawntide in the name of Him who causeth the day to break, and to drink your fill in praise of Him who is the all-glorious, the incomparable. We have made it lawful for you to listen to music and singing. Take heed, however, lest listening thereto should cause you to overstep the bounds of propriety and dignity. Let your joy be the joy born of my most great name, a name that bringeth rapture to the heart, and filleth with ecstasy the minds of all who have drawn nigh unto God. We verily have made music as a ladder for your souls, a means whereby they may be lifted up unto the realm on high. Make it not therefore as wings to self and passion. Truly, we are loath to see you numbered with the foolish. We have decreed that a third part of all fines shall go to the house of justice, and we admonish its men to observe pure justice, that they may expend what is thus accumulated for such purposes as have been enjoined upon them by Him who is the all-knowing, the all-wise. O ye men of justice, be ye in the realm of God shepherds unto His sheep, and guard them from the ravening wolves that have appeared in disguise, even as ye would guard your own sons. Thus exhorteth you the Counsellor, the faithful. Should differences arise amongst you over any matter, refer it to God while the sun still shineth above the horizon of this heaven, and when it hath set, refer ye to whatsoever hath been sent down by Him. This verily is sufficient unto the peoples of the world. Say, let not your hearts be perturbed, O people, when the glory of my presence is withdrawn, and the ocean of my utterance is stilled. In my presence amongst you there is a wisdom, and in my absence there is yet another, inscrutable to all but God, the incomparable, the all-knowing. Verily, we behold you from our realm of glory, and will aid whosoever will arise for the triumph of our cause with the hosts of the concourse on high, and a company of our favoured angels. O peoples of the earth, God, the eternal truth, is my witness that streams of fresh and soft-flowing waters have gushed from the rocks through the sweetness of the words uttered by your Lord, the unconstrained. And still ye slumber. Cast away that which ye possess, and on the wings of detachment soar beyond all created things. Thus biddeth you the Lord of creation, the movement of whose pen hath revolutionized the soul of mankind. Know ye from what heights your Lord, the All-Glorious, is calling? Think ye that ye have recognized the pen wherewith your Lord, the Lord of all names, commandeth you? Nay, by my life. Did ye but know it, ye would renounce the world, and would hasten with your whole hearts to the presence of the well-beloved. Your spirits would be so transported by his word as to throw into commotion the greater world. How much more this small and petty one? Thus have the showers of my bounty been poured down from the heaven of my loving kindness, as a token of my grace, that ye may be of the thankful. The penalties for wounding or striking a person depend upon the severity of the injury. For each degree the Lord of judgment hath prescribed a certain indemnity. He is in truth the ordainer, the mighty, the most exalted. We shall, if it be our will, set forth these payments in their just degrees. This is a promise on our part, and he verily is the keeper of his pledge, the knower of all things. Verily, it is enjoined upon you to offer a feast, once in every month, though only water be served. For God hath purposed to bind hearts together, albeit through both earthly and heavenly means. Beware lest the desires of the flesh and of a corrupt inclination provoke divisions among you. Be ye as the fingers of one hand, the members of one body. Thus counselleth you the pen of Revelation, if ye be of them that believe. Consider the mercy of God and his gifts. He enjoineth upon you that which shall profit you, though he himself can well dispense with all creatures. Your evil doings can never harm us, neither can your good works profit us. We summon you wholly for the sake of God. To this every man of understanding and insight will testify. If ye should hunt with beasts or bird of prey, invoke ye the name of God when ye send them to pursue their quarry. For then whatever they catch shall be lawful unto you, even should ye find it to have died. He verily is the omniscient, the all-informed. Take heed, however, that ye hunt not to excess. Tread ye the path of justice and equity in all things. Thus biddeth you he who is the dawning place of revelation. Would that ye might comprehend. God hath bidden you to show forth kindliness to my kindred, but he hath granted them no right to the property of others. He verily is self-sufficient, above any need of his creatures. Should any one intentionally destroy a house by fire, him also shall ye burn. Should any one deliberately take another's life, him also shall ye put to death. Take ye hold of the precepts of God with all your strength and power, and abandon the ways of the ignorant. Should ye condemn the arsonist and the murderer to life imprisonment, it would be permissible according to the provisions of the book. He verily hath power to ordain whatsoever he pleaseth. God hath prescribed matrimony unto you. Beware that ye take not unto yourselves more wives than two. Whoso contenteth himself with a single partner from among the maidservants of God, both he and she shall live in tranquillity. And he who would take into his service a maid may do so with propriety. Such is the ordinance which in truth and justice hath been recorded by the pen of Revelation. Enter into wedlock, O people. that ye may bring forth one who will make mention of me amid my servants. This is my bidding unto you. Hold fast to it as an assistance to yourselves. O people of the world, follow not the promptings of the self, for it summoneth insistently to wickedness and lust. Follow rather him who is the possessor of all created things, who biddeth you to show forth piety and manifest the fear of God. He verily is independent of all his creatures. Take heed not to stir up mischief in the land after it hath been set in order. Whoso acteth in this way is not of us, and we are quit of him. Such is the command which hath, through the power of truth, been made manifest from the heaven of revelation. It hath been laid down in the Bayan that marriage is dependent upon the consent of both parties. Desiring to establish love, unity, and harmony amidst our servants, we have conditioned it, once the couple's wish is known, upon the permission of their parents, lest enmity and rancour should arise amongst them. And in this we have yet other purposes. Thus hath our commandment been ordained. No marriage may be contracted without payment of a dowry, which hath been fixed for city dwellers at 19 mithqals of pure gold, and for village dwellers at the same amount in silver. Whoso wisheth to increase this sum, it is forbidden him to exceed the limit of 95 mithqals. Thus hath the command been writ in majesty and power. If he content himself, however, with the payment of the lowest level, it shall be better for him according to the book. God verily enricheth whomsoever he willeth through both heavenly and earthly means, and he in truth hath power over all things. It hath been decreed by God that, should any one of his servants intend to travel, he must fix for his wife a time when he shall return home. If he return by the promised time, he will have obeyed the bidding of his Lord, and shall be numbered by the pen of his behest among the righteous. Otherwise, if there be good reason for the delay, he must inform his wife, and make the utmost endeavour to return to her. Should neither of these eventualities occur, it behoveth her to wait for a period of 9 months, after which there is no impediment to her taking another husband. But should she wait longer, God verily loveth those women and men who show forth patience. Obey ye my commandments, and follow not the ungodly, they who have been reckoned as sinners in God's holy tablet. If, during the period of her waiting, word should reach her from her husband, she should choose the course that is praiseworthy. He of a truth desireth that his servants and handmaids should be at peace with one another. Take heed, lest ye do aught that may provoke intransigence amongst you. Thus hath the decree been fixed, and the promise come to pass. If, however, news should reach her of her husband's death or murder, and be confirmed by general report or by the testimony of 2 just witnesses, it behoveth her to remain single. Then, upon the completion of the fixed number of months, she is free to adopt the course of her choosing. Such is the bidding of him who is mighty and powerful in his command. Should resentment or antipathy arise between husband and wife, he is not to divorce her, but to bide in patience throughout the course of 1 whole year, that perchance the fragrance of affection may be renewed between them. If, upon completion of this period, their love hath not returned, it is permissible for divorce to take place. God's wisdom verily hath encompassed all things. The Lord hath prohibited, in a tablet inscribed by the pen of his command, the practice to which ye formerly had recourse when thrice ye had divorced a woman. This he hath done as a favour on his part, that ye may be accounted among the thankful. He who hath divorced his wife may choose, upon the passing of each month, to remarry her when there is mutual affection and consent, so long as she hath not taken another husband. Should she have wed again, then by this other union the separation is confirmed, and the matter is concluded, unless, clearly, her circumstances change. Thus hath the decree been inscribed with majesty in this glorious tablet, by him who is the dawning place of beauty. If the wife accompany her husband on a journey, and differences arise between them on the way, he is required to provide her with her expenses for 1 whole year, and either to return her whence she came, or to entrust her, together with the necessaries for her journey, to a dependable person who is to escort her home. Thy Lord verily ordaineth as he pleaseth, by virtue of a sovereignty that overshadoweth the peoples of the earth. Should a woman be divorced in consequence of a proven act of infidelity, she shall receive no maintenance during her period of waiting. Thus hath the day star of our commandment shone forth resplendent from the firmament of justice. Truly the Lord loveth union and harmony, and abhorreth separation and divorce. Live ye one with another, O people, in radiance and joy. By my life, all that are on earth shall pass away, while good deeds alone shall endure. To the truth of my words God doth himself bear witness. Compose your differences, O my servants. Then heed ye the admonition of our pen of glory, and follow not the arrogant and wayward. Take heed lest the world beguile you as it beguiled the people who went before you. Observe ye the statutes and precepts of your Lord, and walk ye in this way which hath been laid out before you in righteousness and truth. They who eschew iniquity and error, who adhere to virtue, are, in the sight of the one true God, among the choicest of his creatures. Their names are extolled by the concourse of the realms above, and by those who dwell in this tabernacle which hath been raised in the name of God. It is forbidden you to trade in slaves, be they men or women. It is not for him who is himself a servant to buy another of God's servants, and this hath been prohibited in his holy tablet. Thus, by his mercy, hath the commandment been recorded by the pen of justice. Let no man exalt himself above another. All are but bondslaves before the Lord, and all exemplify the truth that there is none other God but him. He verily is the all-wise, whose wisdom encompasseth all things. Adorn yourselves with the raiment of goodly deeds. He whose deeds attain unto God's good pleasure is assuredly of the people of Baha, and is remembered before his throne. Assist ye the Lord of all creation with works of righteousness, and also through wisdom and utterance. Thus indeed have ye been commanded in most of the tablets by him who is the all-merciful. He truly is cognizant of what I say. Let none contend with another, and let no soul slay another. This verily is that which was forbidden you in a book that hath lain concealed within the tabernacle of glory. What? Would ye kill him whom God has quickened, whom he hath endowed with spirit through a breath from him? Grievous then would be your trespass before his throne. Fear God, and lift not the hand of injustice and oppression to destroy what he hath himself raised up. Nay, walk ye in the way of God, the true one. No sooner did the hosts of true knowledge appear, bearing the standards of divine utterance, than the tribes of the religions were put to flight, save only those who willed to drink from the stream of everlasting life in a paradise created by the breath of the All-Glorious. God hath decreed, in token of his mercy unto his creatures, that semen is not unclean. Yield thanks unto him with joy and radiance, and follow not such as are remote from the dawning place of his nearness. Arise ye under all conditions to render service to the cause, for God will assuredly assist you through the power of his sovereignty which overshadoweth the worlds. Cleave ye unto the cord of refinement with such tenacity as to allow no trace of dirt to be seen upon your garments. Such is the injunction of one who is sanctified above all refinement. Whoso falleth short of this standard with good reason shall incur no blame. God verily is the forgiving, the merciful. Wash ye every soiled thing with water that hath undergone no alteration in any of the three respects. Take heed not to use water that hath been altered through exposure to the air or some other agent. Be ye the very essence of cleanliness amongst mankind. This truly is what your Lord, the incomparable, the all-wise, desireth for you. God hath likewise, as a bounty from his presence, abolished the concept of uncleanliness, whereby divers things and peoples have been held to be impure. He of a certainty is the ever-forgiving, the most generous. Verily, all created things were immersed in the sea of purification when on that first day of Rizwan we shed upon the whole of creation the splendours of our most excellent names and our most exalted attributes. This verily is a token of my loving providence, which hath encompassed all the world. Consort ye then with the followers of all religions, and proclaim ye the cause of your Lord, the most compassionate. This is the very crown of deeds, if ye be of them that understand. God hath enjoined on you to observe the utmost cleanliness, to the extent of washing what is soiled with dust, let alone with hardened dirt and similar defilement. Fear him, and be of those who are pure. Should the garb of any one be visibly sullied, his prayers shall not ascend unto God, and the celestial concourse will turn away from him. Make use of rosewater, and of pure perfume. This indeed is that which God hath loved from the beginning that hath no beginning, in order that there may be diffused from you what your Lord, the incomparable, the all-wise, desireth. God hath relieved you of the ordinance laid down in the Bayan concerning the destruction of books. We have permitted you to read such sciences as are profitable unto you, not such as end in idle disputation. Better is this for you, if ye be of them that comprehend. O kings of the earth, he who is the sovereign Lord of all is come. The kingdom is God's, the omnipotent protector, the self-subsisting. Worship none but God, and with radiant hearts lift up your faces unto your Lord, the Lord of all names. This is a revelation to which whatever ye possess can never be compared, could ye but know it. We see ye rejoicing in that which ye have amassed for others, and shutting yourselves out from the worlds which naught except my guarded tablet can reckon. The treasures ye have laid up have drawn you far away from your ultimate objective. This ill beseemeth you, could ye but understand it. Wash from your hearts all earthly defilements, and hasten to enter the kingdom of your Lord, the Creator of earth and heaven, who caused the world to tremble and all its people to wail, except them that have renounced all things and clung to that which the hidden tablet hath ordained. This is the day in which he who held converse with God hath attained the light of the Ancient of Days, and quaffed the pure waters of reunion from this cup that hath caused the seas to swell. Say, by the one true God. Sinai is circling round the dayspring of revelation, while from the heights of the kingdom the voice of the Spirit is heard proclaiming, Bestir yourselves, ye proud ones of the earth, and hasten ye unto him. Carmel hath in this day hastened in longing adoration to attain his court, whilst from the heart of Zion there cometh the cry, The promise is fulfilled. that which hath been announced in the holy writ of God, the most exalted, the Almighty, the best beloved, is made manifest. O kings of the earth, the most great law hath been revealed in this spot, this scene of transcendent splendour. Every hidden thing hath been brought to light by virtue of the will of the Supreme Ordainer, he who hath ushered in the last hour, through whom the moon hath been cleft, and every irrevocable decree expounded. Ye are but vassals, O kings of the earth. He who is the King of kings hath appeared, arrayed in his most wondrous glory, and is summoning you unto himself, the help in peril, the self-subsisting. Take heed lest pride deter you from recognizing the source of revelation, lest the things of this world shut you out as by a veil from him who is the Creator of heaven. Arise, and serve him who is the desire of all nations, who hath created you through a word from him, and ordained you to be for all time the emblems of his sovereignty. By the righteousness of God, it is not our wish to lay hands on your kingdoms. Our mission is to seize and possess the hearts of men. Upon them the eyes of Baha are fastened. To this testifieth the kingdom of names, could ye but comprehend it. Whoso followeth his Lord will renounce the world and all that is therein. How much greater, then, must be the detachment of him who holdeth so august a station. Forsake your palaces, and haste ye to gain admittance into his kingdom. This indeed will profit you in both this world and in the next. To this testifieth the Lord of the realm on high, did ye but know it. How great the blessedness that awaiteth the King who will arise to aid my cause in my kingdom, who will detach himself from all else but me. Such a king is numbered with the companions of the Crimson Ark, the ark which God hath prepared for the people of Baha. All must glorify his name, must reverence his station, and aid him to unlock the cities with the keys of my name, the omnipotent protector of all that inhabit the visible and invisible kingdoms. Such a king is the very eye of mankind, the luminous ornament on the brow of creation, the fountainhead of blessings unto the whole world. Offer up, O people of Baha, your substance, nay, your very lives for his assistance. O Emperor of Austria, he who is the dayspring of God's light dwelt in the prison of Acca at the time when thou didst set forth to visit the Aqsa Mosque. Thou passed him by, and inquired not about him by whom every house is exalted and every lofty gate unlocked. We verily made it a place whereunto the world should turn, that they might remember me. And yet thou hast rejected him who is the object of this remembrance, when he appeared with the kingdom of God, thy Lord, and the Lord of the worlds. We have been with thee at all times, and found thee clinging unto the branch, and heedless of the root. Thy Lord verily is a witness unto what I say. We grieved to see thee circle round our name whilst unaware of us, though we were before thy face. Open thine eyes, that thou mayest behold this glorious vision, and recognize him whom thou invokest in the daytime and in the night season, and gaze on the light that shineth above this luminous horizon. Say, O King of Berlin, give ear unto the voice calling from this manifest temple. Verily there is none other God but me, the everlasting, the peerless, the ancient of days. Take heed lest pride deter thee from recognizing the dayspring of divine revelation, lest earthly desires shut thee out as by a veil from the Lord of the throne above and of the earth below. Thus counselleth thee the pen of the Most High. He verily is the most gracious, the all-bountiful. Do thou remember the one whose power transcended thy power, and whose station excelled thy station. Where is he? Whither are gone the things he possessed? Take warning, and be not of them that are fast asleep. He it was who cast the tablet of God behind him, when we had made known unto him what the hosts of tyranny had caused us to suffer. Wherefore disgrace assailed him from all sides, and he went down to dust in great loss. Think deeply, O King, concerning him, and concerning them who, like unto thee, have conquered cities and ruled over men. The All-Merciful brought them down from their palaces to their graves. Be warned, be of them who reflect. We have asked nothing from you. For the sake of God we verily exhort you, and will be patient as we have been patient in that which hath befallen us at your hands, O concourse of kings. Hearken ye, O rulers of America, and the presidents of the republics therein, unto that which the dove is warbling on the branch of eternity. There is none other God but me, the ever-abiding, the forgiving, the all-bountiful. Adorn ye the temple of dominion with the ornament of justice and of the fear of God, and its head with the crown of the remembrance of your Lord, the Creator of the heavens. Thus counselleth you he who is the dayspring of names, as bidden by him who is the all-knowing, the all-wise. The promised one hath appeared in this glorified station, whereat all beings, both seen and unseen, have rejoiced. Take ye advantage of the day of God. Verily, to meet him is better for you than all that whereon the sun shineth, could ye but know it. O concourse of rulers, give ear unto that which hath been raised from the dayspring of grandeur. Verily, there is none other God but me, the Lord of utterance, the all-knowing. Bind ye the broken with the hands of justice, and crush the oppressor who flourisheth with the rod of the commandments of your Lord, the Ordainer, the All-Wise. O people of Constantinople, lo, from your midst we hear the baleful hooting of the owl. Hath the drunkenness of passion laid hold upon you, or is it that ye are sunk in heedlessness? O spot that art situate on the shores of the two seas, the throne of tyranny hath verily been stablished upon thee, and the flame of hatred been kindled within thy bosom in such wise that the concourse on high and they who circle around the exalted throne have wailed and lamented. We behold in thee the foolish ruling over the wise, and darkness vaunting itself against the light. Thou art indeed filled with manifest pride. Hath thine outward splendour made thee vainglorious? By him who is the Lord of mankind, it shall soon perish, and thy daughters and thy widows, and all the kindreds that dwell within thee, shall lament. Thus informeth thee the all-knowing, the all-wise. O banks of the Rhine, we have seen you covered with gore, inasmuch as the swords of retribution were drawn against you, and ye shall have another turn. And we hear the lamentations of Berlin, though she be today in conspicuous glory. Let nothing grieve thee, O land of Tar, for God hath chosen thee to be the source of joy to all mankind. He shall, if it be his will, bless thy throne with one who will rule with justice, who will gather together the flock of God which the wolves have scattered. Such a ruler will, with joy and gladness, turn his face towards and extend his favours unto the people of Baha. He indeed is accounted in the sight of God as a jewel among men. Upon him rest forever the glory of God, and the glory of all that dwell in the kingdom of his revelation. Rejoice with great joy, for God hath made thee the dayspring of his light, inasmuch as within thee was born the manifestation of his glory. Be thou glad for this name that hath been conferred upon thee, a name through which the day-star of grace hath shed its splendour, through which both earth and heaven have been illumined. Ere long will the state of affairs within thee be changed, and the reins of power fall into the hands of the people. Verily, thy Lord is the all-knowing. His authority embraceth all things. Rest thou assured in the gracious favour of thy Lord. The eye of his loving kindness shall everlastingly be directed towards thee. The day is approaching when thy agitation will have been transmuted into peace and quiet calm. Thus hath it been decreed in the wondrous book. O land of Ka, we hear from thee the voice of heroes, raised in glorification of thy Lord, the all-possessing, the most exalted. Blessed the day on which the banners of the divine names shall be upraised in the kingdom of creation in my name, the all-glorious. On that day the faithful shall rejoice in the victory of God, and the disbelievers shall lament. None must contend with those who wield authority over the people. Leave them unto that which is theirs, and direct your attention to men's hearts. O most mighty ocean, sprinkle upon the nations that with which thou hast been charged by him who is the sovereign of eternity, and adorn the temples of all the dwellers of the earth with the vesture of his laws, through which all hearts will rejoice, and all eyes be brightened. Should anyone acquire 100 mithqals of gold, 19 mithqals thereof are God's, and are to be rendered unto him, the fashioner of earth and heaven. Take heed, O people, lest ye deprive yourselves of so great a bounty. This have we commanded you, though we are well able to dispense with you and with all who are in the heavens and on earth. In it are benefits and wisdoms beyond the ken of any one but God, the omniscient, the all-informed. Say, by this means he hath desired to purify what ye possess, and enable you to draw nigh unto such stations as none can comprehend, save those whom God hath willed. He, in truth, is the beneficent, the gracious, the bountiful. O people, deal not faithlessly with the right of God, nor without his leave make free with its disposal. Thus hath his commandment been established in the holy tablets, and in this exalted book. He who dealeth faithlessly with God shall in justice meet with faithlessness himself. He, however, who acteth in accordance with God's bidding, shall receive a blessing from the heaven of the bounty of his Lord, the gracious, the bestower, the generous, the ancient of days. He verily hath willed for you that which is beyond your knowledge, but which shall be known to you when, after this fleeting life, your souls soar heavenwards, and the trappings of your earthly life are folded up. Thus admonisheth you he in whose possession is the guarded tablet. Various petitions have come before our throne from the believers concerning laws from God, the Lord of the seen and the unseen, the Lord of all worlds. We have in consequence revealed this holy tablet, and arrayed it with the mantle of his law, that haply the people may keep the commandments of their Lord. Similar requests had been made of us over several previous years, but we had, in our wisdom, withheld our pen until, in recent days, letters arrived from a number of the friends, and we have therefore responded, through the power of truth, with that which shall quicken the hearts of men. Say, O leaders of religion, weigh not the book of God with such standards and sciences as are current amongst you, for the book itself is the unerring balance established amongst men. In this most perfect balance, whatsoever the peoples and kindreds of the earth possess must be weighed, while the measure of its weight should be tested according to its own standard, did ye but know it. The eye of my loving kindness weepeth sore over you, inasmuch as ye have failed to recognize the one upon whom ye have been calling in the daytime and in the night season, at even and at morn. Advance, O people, with snow-white faces and radiant hearts, unto the blessed and crimson spot, wherein the Sadratul Muntaha is calling, Verily, there is none other God beside me, the omnipotent protector, the self-subsisting. O ye leaders of religion, who is the man amongst you that can rival me in vision or insight? Where is he to be found that dareth to claim to be my equal in utterance or wisdom? No, by my Lord the All-Merciful, all on the earth shall pass away, and this is the face of your Lord, the Almighty, the Well-Beloved. We have decreed, O people, that the highest and last end of all learning be the recognition of him who is the object of all knowledge. And yet, behold how ye have allowed your learning to shut you out, as by a veil, from him who is the dayspring of this light, through whom every hidden thing hath been revealed. Could ye but discover the source whence the splendour of this utterance is diffused, ye would cast away the peoples of the world and all that they possess, and would draw nigh unto this most blessed seat of glory. Say, this verily is the heaven in which the mother book is treasured, could ye but comprehend it. He it is who hath caused the rock to shout, and the burning bush to lift up its voice upon the mount rising above the Holy Land, and proclaim, The kingdom is God's, the sovereign Lord of all, the all-powerful, the all-loving. We have not entered any school, nor read any of your dissertations. Incline your ears to the words of this unlettered one, wherewith he summoneth you unto God, the ever-abiding. Better is this for you than all the treasures of the earth, could ye but comprehend it. Whoso interpreteth what hath been sent down from the heaven of revelation, and altereth its evident meaning, he verily is of them that have perverted the sublime word of God, and is of the lost ones in the lucid book. It hath been enjoined upon you to par your nails, to bathe yourselves each week in water that covereth your bodies, and to clean yourselves with whatsoever ye have formerly employed. Take heed lest through negligence ye fail to observe that which hath been prescribed unto you by him who is the incomparable, the gracious. Immerse yourselves in clean water. It is not permissible to bathe yourselves in water that hath already been used. See that ye approach not the public pools of Persian baths. Whoso maketh his way toward such baths will smell their fetid odour ere he entereth therein. Shun them, O people, and be not of those who ignominiously accept such vileness. In truth, they are as sinks of foulness and contamination, if ye be of them that apprehend. Avoid ye likewise the malodorous pools in the courtyards of Persian homes, and be ye of the pure and sanctified. Truly, we desire to behold you as manifestations of paradise on earth, that there may be diffused from you such fragrance as shall rejoice the hearts of the favoured of God. If the bather, instead of entering the water, wash himself by pouring it upon his body, it shall be better for him, and shall absolve him of the need for bodily immersion. Thy Lord verily hath willed, as a bounty from his presence, to make life easier for you, so that you may be of those who are truly thankful. It is forbidden you to wed your father's wives. We shrink for very shame from treating the subject of boys. Fear ye the merciful, O peoples of the world. Commit not that which is forbidden you in our holy tablet, and be not of those who rove distractedly in the wilderness of their desires. To none is it permitted to mutter sacred verses before the public gaze as he walketh in the street or market-place. Nay, rather, if he wish to magnify the Lord, it behoveth him to do so in places as have been erected for this purpose, or in his own home. This is more in keeping with sincerity and godliness. Thus hath the sun of our commandment shone forth above the horizon of our utterance. Blessed then be those who do our bidding. Unto every one hath been enjoined the writing of a will. The testator should head this document with the adornment of the most great name, bear witness therein unto the oneness of God in the dayspring of his revelation, and make mention, as he may wish, of that which is praiseworthy, so that it may be a testimony for him in the kingdoms of revelation and creation, and a treasure with his Lord, the supreme protector, the faithful. All feasts have attained their consummation in the two most great festivals, and in the other two festivals that fall on the twin days, the first of the most great festivals being those days whereon the All-Merciful shed upon the whole of creation the effulgent glory of his most excellent names and his most exalted attributes, and the second being that day on which we raised up the one who announced unto mankind the glad tidings of this name, through which the dead have been resurrected, and all who are in the heavens and on earth have been gathered together. Thus hath it been decreed by him who is the ordainer, the omniscient. Happy the one who entereth upon the first day of the month of Baha, the day which God hath consecrated to this great name. And blessed be he who evidenceth on this day the bounties that God hath bestowed upon him. He verily is of those who show forth thanks to God, through actions betokening the Lord's munificence which hath encompassed all the worlds. Say, this day verily is the crown of all the months and the source thereof, the day on which the breath of life is wafted over all created things. Great is the blessedness of him who greeteth it with radiance and joy. We testify that he is, in truth, among those who are blissful. Say, the most great festival is indeed the King of festivals. Call ye to mind, O people, the bounty which God hath conferred upon you. Ye were sunk in slumber, and lo, he aroused you by the reviving breezes of his revelation, and made known unto you his manifest and undeviating path. Resort ye in times of sickness to competent physicians. We have not set aside the use of material means, rather have we confirmed it through this pen, which God hath made to be the dawning place of his shining and glorious cause. God had formerly laid upon each one of the believers the duty of offering before our throne priceless gifts from among his possessions. Now, in token of our gracious favour, we have absolved them of this obligation. He, of a truth, is the most generous, the all-bountiful. Blessed is he who, at the hour of dawn, centering his thoughts on God, occupied with his remembrance and supplicating his forgiveness, directeth his steps to the Mashriqal Adkar, and, entering therein, seateth himself in silence to listen to the verses of God, the Sovereign, the Mighty, the All-Praised. Say, the Mashriqal Adkar is each and every building which hath been erected in cities and villages for the celebration of my praise. Such is the name by which it has been designated before the throne of glory. Were ye of those who understand? They who recite the verses of the All-Merciful in the most melodious of tones will perceive in them that with which the sovereignty of earth and heaven can never be compared. From them they will inhale the divine fragrance of my worlds, worlds which today none can discern save those who have been endowed with vision through this sublime, this beauteous revelation. Say, these verses draw hearts that are pure unto those spiritual worlds that can neither be expressed in words nor intimated by allusion. Blessed be those who hearken. Assist ye, O my people, my chosen servants, who have risen to make mention of me among my creatures, and to exalt my word throughout my realm. These truly are the stars of the heaven of my loving providence, and the lamps of my guidance unto all mankind. But he whose words conflict with that which hath been sent down in my holy tablets is not of me. Beware lest ye follow any impious pretender. These tablets are embellished with the seal of him who causeth the dawn to appear, who lifteth up his voice between the heavens and the earth. Lay hold on this sure handle, and on the cord of my mighty and unassailable cause. The Lord hath granted leave to whosoever desireth it, that he be instructed in the divers tongues of the world, that he may deliver the message of the cause of God throughout the east and throughout the west, that he make mention of him amongst the kindreds and peoples of the world, in such wise that hearts may revive, and the mouldering bone be quickened. It is inadmissible that man, who hath been endowed with reason, should consume that which stealeth it away. Nay, rather it behoveth him to comport himself in a manner worthy of the human station, and not in accordance with the misdeeds of every heedless and wavering soul. Adorn your heads with the garlands of trustworthiness and fidelity, your hearts with the attire of the fear of God, your tongues with absolute truthfulness, your bodies with the vesture of courtesy. These are in truth seemly adornings unto the temple of man, if ye be of them that reflect. Cling ye, O people of Baha, to the cord of servitude unto God, the true one, for thereby your stations shall be made manifest, your names written and preserved, your ranks raised, and your memory exalted in the preserved tablet. Beware lest the dwellers on earth hinder you from this glorious and exalted station. Thus have we exhorted you in most of our epistles, and now in this, our holy tablet, above which hath beamed the day-star of the laws of the Lord, your God, the powerful, the all-wise. When the ocean of my presence hath ebbed, and the book of my revelation is ended, turn your faces towards him whom God hath purposed, who hath branched from this ancient root. Consider the pettiness of men's minds. They ask for that which injureth them, and cast away the thing that profiteth them. They are indeed of those who are far astray. We find some men desiring liberty and priding themselves therein. Such men are in the depths of ignorance. Liberty must, in the end, lead to sedition, whose flames none can quench. Thus warneth you he who is the reckoner, the all-knowing. Know ye that the embodiment of liberty and its symbol is the animal. That which beseemeth man is submission unto such restraints as will protect him from his own ignorance, and guard him against the harm of the mischief-maker. Liberty causeth man to overstep the bounds of propriety, and to infringe on the dignity of his station. It debaseth him to the level of extreme depravity and wickedness. Regard men as a flock of sheep that need a shepherd for their protection. This verily is the truth, the certain truth. We approve of liberty in certain circumstances, and refuse to sanction it in others. We verily are the all-knowing. Say, true liberty consisteth in man's submission unto my commandments, little as ye know it. Were men to observe that which we have sent down unto them from the heaven of revelation, they would of a certainty attain unto perfect liberty. Happy is the man that hath apprehended the purpose of God in whatever he hath revealed from the heaven of his will that pervadeth all created things. Say, the liberty that profiteth you is to be found nowhere except in complete servitude unto God, the eternal truth. Whoso hath tasted of its sweetness will refuse to barter it for all the dominion of earth and heaven. In the Bayan it had been forbidden you to ask us questions. The Lord hath now relieved you of this prohibition, that ye may be free to ask what ye need to ask, but not such idle questions as those on which the men of former times were wont to dwell. Fear God, and be ye of the righteous. Ask ye that which shall be of profit to you in the cause of God and his dominion. For the portals of his tender compassion have been opened before all who dwell in heaven and on earth. The number of months in a year appointed in the Book of God is 19. Of these the first hath been adorned with this name which overshadoweth the whole of creation. The Lord hath decreed that the dead should be interred in coffins made of crystal, of hard resistant stone, or of wood that is both fine and durable, and that graven rings should be placed upon their fingers. He verily is the supreme ordainer, the one apprised of all. The inscription on these rings should read, For men, unto God belongeth all that is in the heavens and on the earth, and whatsoever is between them, and he in truth hath knowledge of all things. And for women, unto God belongeth the dominion of the heavens and the earth, and whatsoever is between them, and he in truth is potent over all things. These are the verses that were revealed aforetime. But lo, the point of the Bayan now calleth out, exclaiming, O best beloved of the worlds, reveal thou in their stead such words as will waft the fragrance of thy gracious favours over all mankind. We have announced unto every one that one single word from thee excelleth all that hath been sent down in the Bayan. Thou indeed hast power to do what pleaseth thee. Deprive not thy servants of the overflowing bounties of the ocean of thy mercy. Thou, in truth, art he whose grace is infinite. Behold, we have hearkened to his call, and now fulfil his wish. He verily is the best beloved, the answerer of prayers. If the following verse, which hath at this moment been sent down by God, be engraved upon the burial rings of both men and women, it shall be better for them. We of a certainty are the supreme ordainer. I came forth from God, and return unto him, detached from all save him, holding fast to his name, the merciful, the compassionate. Thus doth the Lord single out whomsoever he desireth for a bounty from his presence. He is in very truth the God of might and power. The Lord hath decreed, moreover, that the deceased should be enfolded in 5 sheets of silk or cotton. For those whose means are limited, a single sheet of either fabric will suffice. Thus hath it been ordained by him who is the all-knowing, the all-informed. It is forbidden you to transport the body of the deceased a greater distance than 1 hour's journey from the city. Rather should it be interred with radiance and serenity in a nearby place. God hath removed the restrictions on travel that had been imposed in the Bayan. He verily is the unconstrained. He doeth as he pleaseth, and ordaineth whatsoever he willeth. O peoples of the world, give ear unto the call of him who is the Lord of all names, who proclaimeth unto you from his habitation in the most great prison. Verily, there is no God but me, the powerful, the mighty, the all-subduing, the most exalted, the omniscient, the all-wise. In truth, there is no God but him, the omnipotent ruler of the world. Were it his will, he would, through but a single word proceeding from his presence, lay hold on all mankind. Beware lest ye hesitate in your acceptance of this cause, a cause before which the concourse on high and the dwellers of the cities of names have bowed down. Fear God, and be not of those who are shut out as by a veil. Burn away the veils with the fire of my love, and dispel ye the mists of vain imaginings by the power of this name, through which we have subdued the entire creation. Raise up and exalt the two houses in the twin hallowed spots, and the other sites wherein the throne of your Lord, the All-Merciful, hath been established. Thus commandeth you the Lord of every understanding heart. Be watchful, lest the concerns and preoccupations of this world prevent you from observing that which hath been enjoined upon you by him who is the mighty, the faithful. Be ye the embodiments of such steadfastness amidst mankind, that you will not be kept back from God by the doubts of those who have disbelieved in him when he manifested himself, invested with a mighty sovereignty. Take heed, lest ye be prevented by aught that hath been recorded in the book from hearkening unto this, the living book, who proclaimeth the truth. Verily, there is no God but me, the most excellent, the all-praised. Look ye with the eye of equity upon him who hath descended from the heaven of divine will and power, and be not of those who act unjustly. Call then to mind these words which have streamed forth, in tribute to this revelation, from the pen of him who was my herald, and consider what the hands of the oppressors have wrought throughout my days. Truly, they are numbered with the lost. He said, Should ye attain the presence of him whom we shall make manifest, beseech ye God, in his bounty, to grant that he might deign to sit himself upon your couches. For that act in itself would confer upon you matchless and surpassing honour. Should he drink a cup of water in your homes, this would be of greater consequence for you than your proffering unto every soul, nay, unto every created thing, the water of its very life. Know this, O ye my servants. Such are the words with which my forerunner hath extolled my being, could ye but understand. Whoso reflecteth upon these verses, and realizeth what hidden pearls have been enshrined within them, will, by the righteousness of God, perceive the fragrance of the All-Merciful wafting from the direction of this prison, and will, with his whole heart, hasten unto him with such ardent longing that the hosts of earth and heaven would be powerless to deter him. Say, this is a revelation around which every proof and testimony doth circle. Thus hath it been sent down by your Lord, the God of mercy, if ye be of them that judge aright. Say, this is the very soul of all scriptures, which hath been breathed into the pen of the Most High, causing all created beings to be dumbfounded, save only those who have been enraptured by the gentle breezes of my loving kindness, and the sweet savours of my bounties which have pervaded the whole of creation. O people of the Bayan, fear ye the most merciful, and consider what he hath revealed in another passage. He said, The Qibli is indeed he whom God will make manifest. Whenever he moveth, it moveth, until he shall come to rest. Thus was it set down by the Supreme Ordainer, when he desired to make mention of this most great beauty. Meditate on this, O people, and be not of them that wander distraught in the wilderness of error. If ye reject him at the bidding of your idle fancies, where then is the Qibli to which ye will turn, O assemblage of the heedless? Ponder ye this verse, and judge equitably before God, that happily ye may glean the pearls of mysteries from the ocean that surgeth in my name, the All-Glorious, the Most High. Let none in this day hold fast to aught save that which hath been manifested in this revelation. Such is the decree of God, aforetime and hereafter. a decree wherewith the scriptures of the messengers of old have been adorned. Such is the admonition of the Lord, aforetime and hereafter, an admonition wherewith the preamble to the book of life hath been embellished, did ye but perceive it. Such is the commandment of the Lord, aforetime and hereafter. Beware lest ye choose instead the part of ignominy and abasement. Naught shall avail you in this day but God, nor is there any refuge to flee to save him, the omniscient, the all-wise. Whoso hath known me hath known the goal of all desire, and whoso hath turned unto me hath turned unto the object of all adoration. Thus hath it been set forth in the book, and thus hath it been decreed by God, the Lord of all worlds. To read but one of the verses of my revelation is better than to peruse the scriptures of both the former and latter generations. This is the utterance of the All-Merciful. Would that ye had ears to hear. Say, this is the essence of knowledge. Did ye but understand? And now consider what hath been revealed in yet another passage, that perchance ye may forsake your own concepts and set your face towards God, the Lord of being. He hath said, It is unlawful to enter into marriage save with a believer in the Bayan. Should only one party to a marriage embrace this cause, his or her possessions will become unlawful to the other until such time as the latter hath converted. This law, however, will only take effect after the exaltation of the cause of him whom we shall manifest in truth, or of that which hath already been made manifest in justice. Ere this, ye are at liberty to enter into wedlock as ye wish, that haply by this means ye may exalt the cause of God. Thus hath the nightingale sung with sweet melody upon the celestial bough, in praise of its Lord, the All-Merciful. Well is it with them that hearken. O people of the Bayan, I adjure you by your Lord, the God of mercy, to look with the eye of fairness upon this utterance which hath been sent down through the power of truth, and not be of those who see the testimony of God yet reject and deny it. They, in truth, are of those who will assuredly perish. The point of the Bayan hath explicitly made mention in this verse of the exaltation of my cause before his own cause. Unto this will testify every just and understanding mind. As ye can readily witness in this day, its exaltation is such as none can deny, save those whose eyes are drunken in this mortal life, and whom a humiliating chastisement awaiteth in the life to come. Say, by the righteousness of God, I verily am his best beloved, and at this moment he listeneth to these verses descending from the heaven of revelation, and bewaileth the wrongs ye have committed in these days. Fear God, and join not with the aggressor. Say, O people, should ye choose to disbelieve in him, refrain at least from rising up against him. By God, sufficient are the hosts of tyranny that are leagued against him. Verily, he revealed certain laws so that in this dispensation the pen of the Most High might have no need to move in aught but the glorification of his own transcendent station and his most effulgent beauty. Since, however, we have wished to evidence our bounty unto you, we have, through the power of truth, set forth these laws with clarity and mitigated what we desire you to observe. He verily is the Magnificent, the Generous. He hath previously made known unto you that which would be uttered by this dayspring of divine wisdom. He said, and he speaketh the truth, he is the one who will under all conditions proclaim, Verily, there is none other God besides me, the one, the incomparable, the omniscient, the all-informed. This is a station which God hath assigned exclusively to this sublime, this unique and wondrous revelation. This is a token of his bounteous favour, if ye be of them who comprehend, and a sign of his irresistible decree. This is his most great name, his most exalted word, and the dayspring of his most excellent titles, if ye could understand. Nay, more. Through him every fountainhead, every dawning place of divine guidance is made manifest. Reflect, O people, on that which hath been sent down in truth. Ponder thereon, and be not of the transgressors. Consort with all religions with amity and concord, that they may inhale from you the sweet fragrance of God. Beware lest amidst men the flame of foolish ignorance overpower you. All things proceed from God, and unto him they return. He is the source of all things, and in him all things are ended. Take heed that ye enter no house in the absence of its owner, except with his permission. Comport yourselves with propriety under all conditions, and be not numbered with the wayward. It hath been enjoined upon you to purify your means of sustenance, and other such things, through payment of zakat. Thus hath it been prescribed in this exalted tablet by him who is the revealer of verses. We shall, if it be God's will and purpose, set forth ere long the measure of its assessment. He verily expoundeth whatsoever he desireth by virtue of his own knowledge, and he of a truth is omniscient and all-wise. It is unlawful to beg, and it is forbidden to give to him who beggeth. All have been enjoined to earn a living, and as for those who are incapable of doing so, it is incumbent on the deputies of God and on the wealthy to make adequate provision for them. Keep ye the statutes and commandments of God. Nay, guard them as ye would your very eyes, and be not of those who suffer grievous loss. Ye have been forbidden in the Book of God to engage in contention and conflict, to strike another, or to commit similar acts whereby hearts and souls may be saddened. A fine of 19 mithqals of gold had formerly been prescribed by him who is the Lord of all mankind for anyone who was the cause of sadness to another. In this dispensation, however, he hath absolved you thereof, and exhorteth you to show forth righteousness and piety. Such is the commandment which he hath enjoined upon you in this resplendent tablet. Wish not for others what ye wish not for yourselves. Fear God, and be not of the prideful. Ye are all created out of water, and unto dust shall ye return. Reflect upon the end that awaiteth you, and walk not in the ways of the oppressor. Give ear unto the verses of God which he who is the sacred lotary reciteth unto you. They are assuredly the infallible balance, established by God, the Lord of this world and the next. Through them the soul of man is caused to wing its flight towards the dayspring of revelation, and the heart of every true believer is suffused with light. Such are the laws which God hath enjoined upon you, such his commandments prescribed unto you in his holy tablet. Obey them with joy and gladness, for this is best for you, did ye but know. Recite ye the verses of God every morn and eventide. Whoso faileth to recite them hath not been faithful to the covenant of God and his testament. And whoso turneth away from these holy verses in this day is of those who throughout eternity have turned away from God. Fear ye God, O my servants, one and all. Pride not yourselves on much reading of the verses, or on a multitude of pious acts by night and day. For were a man to read a single verse with joy and radiance, it would be better for him than to read with lassitude all the holy books of God, the help in peril, the self-subsisting. Read ye the sacred verses in such measure that ye be not overcome by languor and despondency. Lay not upon your souls that which will weary them and weigh them down, but rather what will lighten and uplift them, so that they may soar on the wings of the divine verses towards the dawning place of his manifest signs. This will draw you nearer to God, did ye but comprehend. Teach your children the verses revealed from the heaven of majesty and power, so that in most melodious tones they may recite the tablets of the All-Merciful in the alcoves within the mashriqal adkars. Whoever hath been transported by the rapture born of adoration for my name, the most compassionate, will recite the verses of God in such wise as to captivate the hearts of those yet wrapped in slumber. Well it is with him who hath quaffed the mystic wine of everlasting life from the utterance of his merciful Lord in my name, a name through which every lofty and majestic mountain hath been reduced to dust. Ye have been enjoined to renew the furnishings of your homes after the passing of each 19 years. Thus hath it been ordained by one who is omniscient and all-perceiving. He verily is desirous of refinement, both for yourselves and for all that ye possess. Lay not aside the fear of God, and be not of the negligent. Whoso findeth that his means are insufficient to this purpose hath been excused by God, the ever-forgiving, the most bounteous. Wash your feet once every day in summer, and once every 3 days during winter. Should anyone wax angry with you, respond to him with gentleness, and should anyone upbraid you, forbear to upbraid him in return, but leave him to himself, and put your trust in God, the omnipotent avenger, the Lord of might and justice. Ye have been prohibited from making use of pulpits. Whoso wisheth to recite unto you the verses of his Lord, let him sit on a chair placed upon a dais, that he may make mention of God, his Lord, and the Lord of all mankind. It is pleasing to God that ye should seat yourselves on chairs and benches as a mark of honour for the love ye bear for him, and for the manifestation of his glorious and resplendent cause. Gambling and the use of opium have been forbidden unto you. Eschew them both, O people, and be not of those who transgress. Beware of using any substance that induceth sluggishness and torpor in the human temple, and inflicteth harm upon the body. We verily desire for you naught save what shall profit you, and to this bear witness all created things, had ye but ears to hear. Whensoever ye be invited to a banquet or festive occasion, respond with joy and gladness, and whoever fulfilleth his promise will be safe from reproof. This is a day on which each of God's wise decrees hath been expounded. Behold, the mystery of the great reversal in the sign of the Sovereign hath now been made manifest. Well is it with him whom God hath aided to recognize the 6 raised up by virtue of this upright Aleph. He verily is of those whose faith is true. How many the outwardly pious who have turned away, and how many the wayward who have drawn nigh, exclaiming, All praise be to thee, O thou the desire of the worlds. In truth, it is in the hand of God to give what he willeth to whomsoever he willeth, and to withhold what he pleaseth from whomsoever he may wish. He knoweth the inner secrets of the hearts, and the meaning hidden in a mocker's wink. How many an embodiment of heedlessness who came to us with purity of heart have we established upon the seat of our acceptance? And how many an exponent of wisdom have we in all justice consigned to the fire? We are, in truth, the one to judge. He it is who is the manifestation of God doeth whatsoever he pleaseth, and abideth upon the throne of He ordaineth whatsoever he chooseth. Blessed is the one who discovereth the fragrance of inner meanings from the traces of this pen, through whose movement the breezes of God are wafted over the entire creation, and through whose stillness the very essence of tranquillity appeareth in the realm of being. Glorified be the All-Merciful, the revealer of so inestimable a bounty. Say, because he bore injustice, justice hath appeared on earth. And because he accepted abasement, the majesty of God hath shone forth amidst mankind. It hath been forbidden you to carry arms unless essential, and permitted you to attire yourselves in silk. The Lord hath relieved you, as a bounty on his part, of the restrictions that formerly applied to clothing and to the trim of the beard. He verily is the ordainer, the omniscient. Let there be naught in your demeanour of which sound and upright minds would disapprove, and make not yourselves the playthings of the ignorant. Well is it with him who hath adorned himself with the vesture of seemly conduct and a praiseworthy character. He is assuredly reckoned with those who aid their Lord through distinctive and outstanding deeds. Promote ye the development of the cities of God and his countries, and glorify him therein in the joyous accents of his well-favoured ones. In truth, the hearts of men are edified through the power of the tongue, even as houses and cities are built up by the hand and other means. We have assigned to every end a means for its accomplishment. Avail yourselves thereof, and place your trust and confidence in God, the Omniscient, the All-Wise. Blessed is the man that hath acknowledged his belief in God and in his signs, and recognized that he shall not be asked of his doings. Such a recognition hath been made by God the ornament of every belief and its very foundation. Upon it must depend the acceptance of every goodly deed. Fasten your eyes upon it, that haply the whisperings of the rebellious may not cause you to slip. Were he to decree as lawful the thing which from time immemorial had been forbidden, and forbid that which had at all times been regarded as lawful, to none is given the right to question his authority. Whoso will hesitate, though it be for less than a moment, should be regarded as a transgressor. Whoso hath not recognized this sublime and fundamental verity, and hath failed to attain this most exalted station, the winds of doubt will agitate him, and the sayings of the infidels will distract his soul. He that hath acknowledged this principle will be endowed with the most perfect constancy. All honour to this all-glorious station, the remembrance of which adorneth every exalted tablet. Such is the teaching which God bestoweth on you, a teaching that will deliver you from all manner of doubt and perplexity, and enable you to attain unto salvation in both this world and in the next. He verily is the ever-forgiving, the most bountiful. He it is who hath sent forth the messengers, and sent down the books to proclaim, There is none other God but me, the Almighty, the All-Wise. O land of Kaf and Ra, we verily behold thee in a state displeasing unto God, and see proceeding from thee that which is inscrutable to any one save him, the omniscient, the all-informed. And we perceive that which secretly and stealthily diffuseth from thee. With us is the knowledge of all things, inscribed in a lucid tablet. Sorrow not for that which hath befallen thee. Ere long will God raise up within thee men endued with mighty valour, who will magnify my name with such constancy that neither will they be deterred by the evil suggestions of the divines, nor will they be kept back by the insinuations of the sowers of doubt. With their own eyes will they behold God, and with their own lives will they render him victorious. These truly are of those who are steadfast. O concourse of divines! When my verses were sent down and my clear tokens were revealed, we found you behind the veils. This verily is a strange thing. Ye glory in my name, yet ye recognized me not at the time your Lord, the All-Merciful, appeared amongst you with proof and testimony. We have rent the veils asunder. Beware lest ye shut out the people by yet another veil. Pluck asunder the chains of vain imaginings, in the name of the Lord of all men, and be not of the deceitful. Should ye turn unto God and embrace his cause, spread not disorder within it, and measure not the book of God with your selfish desires. This verily is the counsel of God aforetime and hereafter, and to this God's witnesses and chosen ones, yea, each and every one of us, do solemnly attest. Call ye to mind the Shaykh whose name was Muhammad Hassan, who ranked among the most learned divines of his day. When the True One was made manifest, this Shaykh, along with others of his calling, rejected him, while a sifter of wheat and barley accepted him and turned unto the Lord. Though he was occupied both night and day in setting down what he conceived to be the laws and ordinances of God, yet when he who is the unconstrained appeared, not one letter thereof availed him, or he would not have turned away from a countenance that hath illumined the faces of the well-favoured of the Lord. Had ye believed in God when he revealed himself, the people would not have turned aside from him, nor would the things ye witness today have befallen us. Fear God, and be not of the heedless. Beware lest any name debar you from him who is the possessor of all names, or any word shut you out from this remembrance of God, this source of wisdom amongst you. Turn unto God, and seek his protection, O concourse of divines, and make not of yourselves a veil between me and my creatures. Thus doth your Lord admonish you, and command you to be just, lest your works should come to naught, and ye yourselves be oblivious of your plight. Shall he who denieth this cause be able to vindicate the truth of any cause throughout creation? Nay, by him who is the fashioner of the universe. Yet the people are wrapped in a palpable veil. Say, through this cause the day-star of testimony hath dawned, and the luminary of proof hath shed its radiance upon all that dwell on earth. Fear God, O men of insight, and be not of those who disbelieve in me. Take heed lest the word prophet withhold you from this most great announcement, or any reference to vicegerency debar you from the sovereignty of him who is the vicegerent of God, which overshadoweth all the world. Every name hath been created by his word, and every cause is dependent on his irresistible, his mighty and wondrous cause. Say, this is the day of God, the day on which naught shall be mentioned save his own self, the omnipotent protector of all worlds. This is the cause that hath made all your superstitions and idols to tremble. We verily see amongst you him who taketh hold of the book of God, and citeth from it proofs and arguments wherewith to repudiate his Lord, even as the followers of every other faith sought reasons in their holy books for refuting him who is the help in peril, the self-subsisting. Say, God the True One is my witness, that neither the scriptures of the world, nor all the books and writings in existence, shall in this day avail you aught without this, the living book, who proclaimeth in the midmost heart of creation, Verily, there is none other God but me, the all-knowing, the all-wise. O concourse of divines, beware lest ye be the cause of strife in the land, even as ye were the cause of the repudiation of the faith in its early days. Gather the people around this word that hath made the pebbles to cry out, The kingdom is God's, the dawning place of all signs. Thus doth your Lord admonish you, as a bounty on his part. He of a truth is the ever-forgiving, the most generous. Call ye to mind Karim, and how when we summoned him unto God, he waxed disdainful, prompted by his own desires. Yet we had sent him that which was a solace to the eye of proof in the world of being, and the fulfilment of God's testimony to all the denizens of earth and heaven. As a token of the grace of him who is the all-possessing, the Most High, we bade him embrace the truth, but he turned away, until, as an act of justice from God, angels of wrath laid hold upon him. Unto this we truly were a witness. Tear the veils asunder in such wise that the inmates of the kingdom will hear them being rent. This is the command of God, in days gone by and for those to come. Blessed the man that observeth that whereunto he was bidden, and woe betide the negligent. We, of a certainty, have had no purpose in this earthly realm, save to make God manifest, and to reveal his sovereignty. Sufficient unto me is God for a witness. We, of a certainty, have had no intent in the celestial kingdom but to exalt his cause, and glorify his praise. Sufficient unto me is God for a protector. We, of a certainty, have had no desire in the dominion on high, except to extol God and what hath been sent down by him. Sufficient unto me is God for a helper. Happy are ye, O ye the learned ones in Baha, by the Lord. Ye are the billows of the most mighty ocean, the stars of the firmament of glory, the standards of triumph waving betwixt earth and heaven. Ye are the manifestations of steadfastness amidst men, and the daysprings of divine utterance to all that dwell on earth. Well is it with him that turneth unto you, and woe betide the froward. This day it behoveth whoso hath quaffed the mystic wine of everlasting life from the hands of the loving kindness of the Lord his God, the merciful, to pulsate even as the throbbing artery in the body of mankind, that through him may be quickened the world and every crumbling bone. O people of the world, when the mystic dove will have winged its flight from its sanctuary of praise, and sought its far-off goal, its hidden habitation, refer ye whatsoever ye understand not in the book to him who hath branched from this mighty stock. O pen of the Most High, move thou upon the tablet at the bidding of thy Lord, the Creator of the heavens, and tell of the time when he who is the dayspring of divine unity purposed to direct his steps towards the school of transcendent wonders. Haply the pure in heart may gain thereby a glimpse, be it as small as a needle's eye, of the mysteries of thy Lord, the Almighty, the Omniscient, that lie concealed behind the veils. Say, we indeed set foot within the school of inner meaning and explanation when all created things were unaware. We saw the words sent down by him who is the all-merciful, and we accepted the verses of God, the help in peril, the self-subsisting, which he presented unto us, and hearkened unto that which he had solemnly affirmed in the tablet. This we assuredly did behold, and we assented to his wish through our behest, for truly we are potent to command. O people of the Bayan, we verily set foot within the school of God when ye lay slumbering, and we perused the tablet while ye were fast asleep. By the one true God, we read the tablet ere it was revealed, while ye were unaware, and we had perfect knowledge of the book when ye were yet unborn. These words are to your measure, not to God's.
To this testifieth that which is enshrined within his knowledge, if ye be of them that comprehend. And to this the tongue of the Almighty doth bear witness, if ye be of those who understand. I swear by God, were we to lift the veil, ye would be dumbfounded. Take heed that ye dispute not idly concerning the Almighty and his cause, for lo, he hath appeared amongst you invested with a revelation so great as to encompass all things, whether of the past or of the future. Were we to address our theme by speaking in the language of the inmates of the kingdom, we would say, in truth, God created that school ere he created heaven and earth, and we entered it before the letters B and E were joined and knit together. Such is the language of our servants in our kingdom. Consider what the tongue of the dwellers of our exalted dominion would utter, for we have taught them our knowledge, and have revealed to them whatever had lain hidden in God's wisdom. Imagine then what the tongue of might and grandeur would utter in his all-glorious abode. This is not a cause which may be made a plaything for your idle fancies, nor is it a field for the foolish and faint of heart. By God, this is the arena of insight and detachment, of vision and upliftment, where none may spur on their chargers save the valiant horsemen of the merciful, who have severed all attachment to the world of being. These truly are they that render God victorious on earth, and are the dawning places of his sovereign might amidst mankind. Beware lest aught that hath been revealed in the Bayan should keep you from your Lord, the most compassionate. God is my witness that the Bayan was sent down for no other purpose than to celebrate my praise, did ye but know. In it the pure in heart will find only the fragrance of my love, only my name that overshadoweth all that seeth and is seen. Say, turn ye, O people, unto that which hath proceeded from my most exalted pen. Should ye inhale therefrom the fragrance of God, set not yourselves against him, nor deny yourselves a portion of his gracious favour and his manifold bestowals. Thus doth your Lord admonish you. He verily is the Counsellor, the Omniscient. Whatsoever ye understand not in the Bayan, ask it of God, your Lord and the Lord of your forefathers. Should he so desire, he will expound for you that which is revealed therein, and disclose to you the pearls of divine knowledge and wisdom that lie concealed within the ocean of its words. He verily is supreme over all names. No God is there but him, the help in peril, the self-subsisting. The world's equilibrium hath been upset through the vibrating influence of this most great, this new world order. Mankind's ordered life hath been revolutionized through the agency of this unique, this wondrous system, the like of which mortal eyes have never witnessed. Immerse yourselves in the ocean of my words, that ye may unravel its secrets, and discover all the pearls of wisdom that lie hid in its depths. Take heed that ye do not vacillate in your determination to embrace the truth of this cause, a cause through which the potentialities of the might of God have been revealed, and his sovereignty established. With faces beaming with joy, hasten ye unto him. This is the changeless faith of God, eternal in the past, eternal in the future. Let him that seeketh attain it, and as to him that hath refused to seek it, verily God is self-sufficient, above any need of his creatures. Say, this is the infallible balance which the hand of God is holding, in which all who are in the heavens and all who are on the earth are weighed, and their fate determined, if ye be of them that believe and recognize this truth. Say, this is the most great testimony, by which the validity of every proof throughout the ages hath been established, would that ye might be assured thereof. Say, through it the poor have been enriched, the learned enlightened, and the seekers enabled to ascend unto the presence of God. Beware lest ye make it a cause of dissension amongst you. Be ye as firmly settled as the immovable mountain in the cause of your Lord, the mighty, the loving.
Say, O source of perversion, abandon thy wilful blindness, and speak forth the truth amidst the people. I swear by God that I have wept for thee, to see thee following thy selfish passions and renouncing him who fashioned thee and brought thee into being. Call to mind the tender mercy of thy Lord, and remember how we nurtured thee by day and by night for service to the cause. Fear God, and be thou of the truly repentant. Granted that the people were confused about thy station, is it conceivable that thou thyself art similarly confused? Tremble before thy Lord, and recall the days when thou didst stand before our throne, and didst write down the verses that we dictated unto thee, verses sent down by God, the omnipotent protector, the Lord of might and power. Beware lest the fire of thy presumptuousness debar thee from attaining to God's holy court. Turn unto him, and fear not because of thy deeds. He, in truth, forgiveth whomsoever he desireth as a bounty on his part. No God is there but him, the ever-forgiving, the all-bounteous. We admonish thee solely for the sake of God. Shouldst thou accept this counsel, thou wilt have acted to thine own behoof, and shouldst thou reject it, thy Lord verily can well dispense with thee, and with all those who, in manifest delusion, have followed thee. Behold, God hath laid hold on him who led thee astray. Return unto God, humble, submissive, and lowly. Verily, he will put away from thee thy sins, for thy Lord of a certainty is the forgiving, the mighty, the all-merciful. This is the counsel of God. Would that thou mightest heed it. This is the bounty of God. Would that thou mightest receive it. This is the utterance of God, if only thou wouldst apprehend it. This is the treasure of God, if only thou couldst understand. This is a book which hath become the lamp of the Eternal unto the world, and his straight undeviating path amidst the peoples of the earth. Say, this is the dayspring of divine knowledge, if ye be of them that understand, and the dawning place of God's commandments, if ye be of them who comprehend. Burden not an animal with more than it can bear. We truly have prohibited such treatment through a most binding interdiction in the book. Be ye the embodiments of justice and fairness amidst all creation. Should anyone unintentionally take another's life, it is incumbent upon him to render to the family of the deceased an indemnity of 100 mithqals of gold. Observe ye that which hath been enjoined upon you in this tablet, and be not of those who overstep its limits. O members of parliaments throughout the world, select ye a single language for the use of all on earth, and adopt ye likewise a common script. God verily maketh plain for you that which shall profit you and enable you to be independent of others. He of a truth is the most bountiful, the all-knowing, the all-informed. This will be the cause of unity, could ye but comprehend it, and the greatest instrument for promoting harmony and civilization. Would that ye might understand. We have appointed 2 signs for the coming of age of the human race. The first, which is the most firm foundation, we have set down in other of our tablets, while the second hath been revealed in this wondrous book. It hath been forbidden you to smoke opium. We truly have prohibited this practice through a most binding interdiction in the book. Should any one partake thereof, assuredly he is not of me. Fear God, O ye endued with understanding.